Trigger warning, this video does talk about pregnancy loss. If that's too much to watch, I totally understand. I'll catch you in another video. I go away to Florida for a few days, escape the snow, enjoy some sunshine, come back and it's like, well, Katie Joy's still an inconsiderate asshole. Hi everyone, it's Nini. Welcome to my channel. I'm wearing a hat because my scalp got sunburned in Florida and right now it's in that awkward peely stage where it looks like I have really bad dandruff and
nobody wants to see that.
And no makeup today because I'm trying to let my skin air out because I put like 8 layers of sunscreen on it while we were in Florida. So Friday night, Jessa Seewald posted a couple of videos. One was announcing her 5th pregnancy, and then there was one just a few hours later where she announced that she had had a miscarriage. Watching that second video and watching her cry and grieve over the loss of the baby was heartbreaking.
It's hard, but we do know the truth that God is good and He does care for us. And so I remember reciting those words of Job. It says, "The Lord gives and the Lord takes away, and blessed be the name of the Lord." I was able to thank God in that moment for giving us this life, even if we would never be able to hold this baby in our arms.
My heart aches for them. I think all of us who follow Katie Joy were kind of in the back of our heads like, okay, what is Katie Joy gonna say about this? Like, how much of a bitch is she gonna be about it? She is horrible to Jessa. Horrible. My very first video I ever made on Katie Joy was how she had caused Jessa to lose a sponsorship because she contacted the brand and said Jessa's husband doesn't like gay people. That happened about a year ago and it still just irritates me because Katie wants to talk about how she wants to free the women from the cult of the IBLP and get out from underneath Jim Bob and support themselves financially. And so then when one of the girls does do something to support herself financially, Katie shits on it. But I wasn't expecting Katie to talk about it until Monday because of course she will make a video about it. But she posted something last night that is infuriating. When you think Katie Joy can't be a shittier person, she proves you wrong. In her post, she's basically insinuating that because Jessa had a DNC after her miscarriage, that she had an abortion. Which technically she kind of did, which I will get into, but she did not have an abortion in the sense that Katie is trying to make it out to be. Oh, it's just, this family is grieving over the loss of a child. So what she said was, Jessa Seewald posted 2 videos in the past 2 days. One was to announce that she was pregnant. She posted this video fully knowing that she was no longer pregnant due to a miscarriage. This led fans to congratulate her on her newest edition. She then posted a second video where she explained that she had been spotting for about 24 hours near the end of her first trimester. During an appointment, the doctor told Jessa that the sac of the baby looked good, but the baby did not look good. Her choice of wording has left some people confused. Jessa said she felt confused about what to do next. Rather than waiting to pass the miscarriage on her own, the anti-abortion mother checked in for a surgical procedure to remove the baby. She said, "We decided to go to the hospital and get checked in there and go through the process of dilation and curettage." She explained while tearing up. "It was a difficult experience before getting checked into the hospital. But we do know the truth that God is good and He does care for us. A DNC is a surgical abortion to end a pregnancy in early stages. This is often used when a woman has an unviable pregnancy. In many states, this procedure is banned for women under abortion laws. The loss of a baby is devastating. Jessa seems to understand the choice she made was that of a surgical abortion, which has left some people very unhappy with her." Then she quoted an actual journalist and then said, "Pregnancy loss is never easy, but hearing a Duggar having DNC after years of advocating against them is shocking many people." To sum up my first reaction to that, I think Dan Aykroyd said it best.
"Jane, you ignorant slut."
Jessa did not make a choice. Jessa did not choose to end her pregnancy. There was something wrong with the baby, and instead of letting it pass on its own, because she has a history of postpartum hemorrhage, they were afraid that that could happen if she tried to pass the baby on her own. So the doctors recommended she have the DNC. Jessa did not have an abortion in the terms that Katie Joy is trying to make it out to be. The part about the anti-abortion mother checked in for a surgical procedure to remove the baby. This is what bugs the crap out of me about Katie's reporting, is the way she words things. She's making it sound like Jessa chose to end a pregnancy. She did not choose this. This happened on its own, and they were worried that she would die from a hemorrhage if she passed it naturally. That's why they did the D&C. Katie Joy is so ignorant. That's not defamation for me to say that because she's proved it herself. And this is the woman who ranted online about how ridiculous it was to think you could get a UTI from sex.
You don't get a UTI from doing the hanky-pank. They think you can. It's a completely different hole, you guys.
I'm just so stupid.
Now, unlike Katie, who likes to pretend that she's an expert in every field, whether it be legal, medical, real estate, whatever, she thinks she's an expert in everything. I actually work in the medical field. I've been in the business side of healthcare for 13 years. I am a medical coder. And now I don't have a lot of experience coding OBGYN stuff, but I'm familiar enough with it. And in the medical world, any kind of pregnancy that ends is called an abortion. Even a miscarriage, it's considered a spontaneous abortion. Abortion is just a term about the end of a pregnancy. That can either happen naturally or spontaneously in a spontaneous abortion, or it can be induced. When a woman does go in to have a D&C, that is so common with miscarriages because either like in Jessa's case, there's a risk if you pass it naturally, or in some cases your body doesn't get rid of all the products of conception. I did dig out my CPT book. CPT codes are the procedural codes. So like if you have an office visit, if you have a surgery, they're all CPT codes. If you have a drug injection, it's a CPT code. Now this is an old one. It's from 2020 because now we use encoder programs so we don't get new books every year because everything's on the computer. I did flip to the abortion section. A D&C performed for medical purposes because the baby is no longer viable is, I believe, coded with 59812, which is for treatment of incomplete abortion any trimester completed surgically. There's also a code for treatment of missed abortion. There's treatment of aseptic abortion. And then you have different codes for induced abortion by dilation and curettage, induced abortion by dilation and evacuation, induced abortion by injections. So there is a huge difference between if you have a D&C as an elective abortion and if you have it because you medically need it. She's so stupid. She's so stupid. I'll read some of the comments that she received on it. She did limit comments on it because of course she can't handle backlash. Credit to Llama Girl and Balls for most of these screenshots. What she had was a D&C. Her baby already did not have a heartbeat. An abortion is when the baby does have a heartbeat. The two are different. D&Cs are done in a hospital and can be for a number of reasons, not just a missed miscarriage. Katie, that's not true. An abortion is to terminate a pregnancy. Many women have infants that have died and under the law are now forced to carry the babies to term or until they go into labor. A D&C is not a surgical abortion. If she already miscarried, then a D&C was performed to clear the uterus of the tissue, an incomplete miscarriage. Katie, false. It's a procedure to remove tissue. Many women have to get these because they are not passing their miscarriage naturally. It prevents sepsis. This is sick and you should do better. I love this comment. Get a brain. It is not an abortion. Where did you get your medical degree from? All that's needed is condolences for her loss. Spot on. Well, it's poor form to point out her hypocrisy at this stage of her obvious grieving, in my opinion. There's time for that conversation later. These people have compassion. This one, I'm not sure what the Josie reference is for, but she says, a live baby being removed from the womb via abortion and a baby who isn't alive being removed via D&C. How horrible to tell a grieving mother who clearly wanted her baby that she has had an abortion. This is pathetic and not a good look for you. That you are applauding what she said. Disappointed to say the least, and it's a slap in the face. You are using a miscarriage to further your political agenda. A D&C is not an abortion. An abortion is a choice to murder an unwanted baby. A D&C just clears out the non-viable baby that has already passed, but thanks for trying. You cannot use the blanket term abortion to refer to all D&C procedures because those two terms are not equal. Yes, a D&C can be an abortion sometimes, but not always. My point is that in Jessa's case, it was not an abortion. It was simply a D&C procedure after a miscarriage. Exactly. This reach is so disgustingly wild. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for pretending that a miscarriage is analogous, whatever, to an abortion. You're fucked up as hell. Katie says, I didn't call this an abortion. In another reply, she said, I explained exactly what it is in the post. It is a medical abortion.
I'm like the worst liar ever.
A D&C is routine when there is an incomplete miscarriage. The ultrasound photo she shared showed no fetal heartbeat. Don't make this something it isn't. This is so low. If there was any time not to speak, this is it. It is not terminating a pregnancy. If the baby has already passed away, the pregnancy has already ended. A D&C is not the same as a medical abortion because if a miscarriage has already happened and the baby has passed away, it is simply the removal of tissue. Actually, the exact definition of D&C is a procedure to remove tissue from inside your uterus. Calling it an abortion is incorrect. I'm not sure where that information came from. You may be thinking of the medical term for miscarriage, which is spontaneous abortion, but that's completely different from a D&C procedure. Katie says, you are wrong. A D&C is also used to terminate a pregnancy. Also used. Not in Jessa's case. Please pause to read the rest of these if you want to. I did see she posted this morning another thing about miscarriages and abortions and said, some states have made laws so restrictive that doctors are afraid to perform any procedure that would end a pregnancy regardless if the fetus is dead. She cites several women who have had issues getting D&Cs. No one discounts that there are differences in elective abortion and medical care with pregnancy loss or unviable fetuses. Sharing for understanding why some people are giving backlash to Jessa Seewald. Jessa didn't get any backlash. Katie, you're getting backlash because you're a dumbass. I am very pro-life. I thought about making a video about it when Roe v. Wade was overturned, but I know I'm in the minority with being pro-life, and so I thought, maybe I'll keep that one to myself. But now I'm going to talk about it, and I'll probably lose followers, but whatever. You know, I think it's more important to stand on your beliefs than have likes and subscribers. But I do want to start by saying this, that even though I am pro-life, I'm not gonna stop being friends or stop talking to people who are pro-choice. Like, I'm not that way. Like, you can have differences in opinions and still get along. And like, I do get the debates that are out there about it. Because I'm not strict pro-life, I do think it should be allowed if the pregnancy is a threat to the mother's life. Some women are dealing with cancer, and if they get pregnant, they have to choose between chemotherapy and a baby. There's ectopic pregnancies. If there's something wrong with the baby, I think there should be an option there to choose to end it. And I totally understand the debate with that one, because it's like, well, how do you define what is allowed as far as complications with the baby? Like that would have to then be defined. So I get that debate. I think it should definitely be allowed in cases of rape. It was so interesting when Roe v. Wade was overturned, because so many people were acting like now the only option for a woman to induce an abortion would be to go in like some back alley and use a coat hanger. That's not the case at all. All that overturning did was just put it into the responsibility of the states. It just said it was not a federal decision, and they left it up to each state. So if you live in a state that now bans abortions, all you have to do is drive to another state that does allow them. So if you want to choose to end a healthy pregnancy, you can in the United States. You're not forced to carry a baby. I'm pro-life, not because I'm Catholic or part of the IBLP or Mormon or anything like that. Presbyterian in the house, but I am a Christian. I have very strong faith in God. I believe life starts at conception. I feel if you make the choice to have sex, you need to accept that that could be an outcome. Plus today there's like 17 different kinds of birth control. People bash Obamacare all the time, but Obamacare actually did a lot of good things for healthcare. One of those was having insurances start to cover more birth control. And I do get that birth control can fail, but again, that goes back to being responsible. Anytime you get in a car, even if you wear a seatbelt, there's a chance you could be in an accident and get hurt. Anytime you have sex, even if you're using protection, you need to accept the responsibility that a pregnancy could come from that. In Jessa's video, she does talk about birth control, and she talks about how she's not against birth control. So instead of posting how Jessa chose to have an abortion, Katie should have been praising her for saying that she's okay with birth control. That's a huge thing because I think birth control is frowned upon in the IBLP. I know Jim Bob and Michelle are very against it because I think she was on it and then did she have a miscarriage and that's why they became against birth control or something like that. I'm not as obsessed with the Duggars as Katie is. She probably knows the girls' menstrual cycles and when they miss a period and might be pregnant. I mean, she's that up in their business. It's creepy. Did she even say in her post that her heart goes out to Jessa? She didn't. She didn't even say she was sorry they lost the baby. She didn't show any sign of compassion towards them during a time that they are grieving. You have made how much money off of this family and you can't even say, I'm sorry you lost your baby. You are a gigantic piece of shit. You are evil to the core. This is why I make videos about you. I don't care how many times she wants to say she's a nice person and she cares about others and she's super kind. No, you are a miserable woman who hates your own life and you spend your days making money off of trashing other people's lives. That is a sad existence. I could get a lot more heated about this, but I'm trying to keep it calm. Oh, some days she just gets to be too much because she's just such a horrible person. Since I recorded, Katie's posted about 87 more times because she's super triggered. Even though it's Sunday and she says she never works on weekends. I just kind of glanced at some of her posts. She's lecturing everybody on what miscarriages are, what abortions are, what procedures are, because, you know, she's an expert in everything. I don't want to include all of the new posts that she has done in the past couple hours because she is exhausting. But I do want to mention this one because she references ICD codes. And like I said, I'm a medical coder. She has to lecture us peons and says, to provide clarity to individuals that may not understand how healthcare manages miscarriages or elective abortions, I want to provide you actual receipts of codes used on medical charts for billing a dilation and curettage. There appears to be a lot of confusion in my comments. I'm not here to obsess over an situation. Should be a dumbass. I want to help provide clarity. When a woman has a miscarriage, the medical records will frequently list the loss as a spontaneous abortion. This simply means the fetus spontaneous died, another typo, and the tissue passed on its own. When a woman checks into the hospital for a D&C, the above list are the codes that are used for the reason for the procedure. As you can see, a missed miscarriage is called an incomplete spontaneous abortion. Abortion does not mean ending life at all. An abortion is the removal of the tissue from the body. There is so much misinformation out there, it's sad. Katie, you're the one misinforming people. Because missed miscarriages and elective abortions are treated the exact same way medically, some states have banned D&Cs unless the woman's life is at risk. In several states like Tennessee, women cannot get D&Cs under any circumstances. There is no reason to make a medical term inflammatory. It's false to say abortions only end life. A miscarriage is a spontaneous abortion, and D&C is the medical procedure to complete the spontaneous abortion. Let's take a breath now. What I find funny is that she included these pictures of ICD-10 codes. She said these are the medical codes for D&C, but these are diagnosis codes. The little one in the corner for the operating room procedures are PCS codes that just hospitals use to bill the facility side. What doctors in the professional side, though, bill are CPT codes. And so those CPT codes are the ones for D&C, not these ICD-10 codes that she's showing, saying that they're the medical codes for a D&C. I love it when Katie tries to act like she knows everything, but then she just shows us how ignorant she really is. I find it so funny. She's still not making up for what she said about Jessa. She's lecturing us on what abortions and miscarriages and D&Cs are. That's not the reason people are mad at you, Katie. They're mad at you because you indicated that Jessa chose to end a pregnancy. Maybe address that instead of lecturing everybody like we're imbeciles. How about that, huh? I suppose we should do a palate cleanser. Walter! Walter, come here! People will yell at me if I don't put you in the video! Kitty, 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 kitty. I might have to go get him. He started to run from me because I think he thought I was going to put him in clothes. Tell everybody hi! He's mad because he was napping. We slept in this morning, but he needed a nap because he needed his beauty sleep. Say hi! Oh, do you see yourself now? You're like, who's that handsome guy? Huh? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts below. Most of my subscribers are very super respectful and I love you guys, but you know, abortions, miscarriages, they can be a hot topic. So please just be respectful. Like I said, I don't dislike people if they are pro-choice. It's just not my belief. And it is okay if you voice a different opinion from me because I don't want an echo chamber. And again, my heart just goes out to Jessa and her family. I mean, my heart just broke watching her video. That's a tough thing to go through. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, you can go back to napping.
Fuck off, Lizzie. I hope you, fuck off, Lizzie.